everybody, Debbie Cowan here with Closing Connections, and I have my newest friend, and we met at an open house, right?
A couple of open houses, yes we did.
Yep, Leigh Ann Venable from Homerun Realty. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Debbie.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Man, your color is just pop in. It's a beautiful color for you.
Thank you. By design. I chose this especially for this occasion.
Well, I wish I would have known. I would have tried to do something a little bit more flashy, but because I don't like to be shown up.
Okay. Well, I didn't do that. I couldn't do that.
Oh, that's funny. Well, tell me a little bit, Leigh Ann. I know that we just recently met, so we don't know too much about each other, but this is our opportunity to really become hopefully good friends. And
I look forward to that.
And we can learn about you and the community, because I know you're with Homerun right now. How long have you been with them?
Oh, let's see. I got back in the business, 2019. So
Okay.
what is that?
3 years?
4 years, I guess.
Yeah,
Three or 4 years.
Okay, so you've been around, so you've been doing it, and I know we talked a little bit about this before we started, but you've been in this business about as long as I have, right?
We've been at this for a while
Yeah.
now. You and I, we know our way around. It's not our first rodeo.
No, it's not, and not our first time that we're having a little bit of market challenges.
Exactly.
So how long have you been doing it?
30-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, in 3 different markets.
Now that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So I know did you just move here in 2019?
No, actually my sister and I came here after our parents died, and that was the end of 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And planning to retire here.
That's me too.
And did retire for a while and started running out of money.
Oh, I know. That is the problem. That's why I think I've said it multiple times on this video. I think I'll be the oldest living originator known to man. I'm so jealous of everybody that gets to retire. I only need $1 billion. That's all.
Well, see, that's not too much to ask.
No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, what's wrong with the universe?
Right. Give it to me, please. So 3 different markets. So tell me about those markets.
Okay. The first was Richmond, Virginia.
Is that where you're from?
Well, it's not where I grew up, but it's where I was first licensed and
Really?
worked the first several years in real estate.
I grew up in Virginia Beach and Chesapeake.
Okay. My second career in real estate was Virginia Beach.
Oh my gosh.
See, we're sisters.
That's right. There was something we knew when we first met.
I knew when I spotted you across the room.
Oh my gosh. My first job ever out of high school was at Virginia National Bank in downtown Norfolk.
Oh my goodness.
That just goes to show you.
That isn't still there, is it?
I think it is. If the Omni Hotel is still across the street from it, I used to walk across the glass. It was the coolest thing, because back in the day, no one ever saw those walkways that they do from one place to the other. But yeah, we used to walk across that glass enclosed walkway and thought it was the coolest thing ever.
It is.
But that was where I started. That was where I started my career. Absolutely. My dad was in the Navy for 30 years, so he retired in Chesapeake.
Well, that was a big part of our market, because there's Fort Story, you have Army, you have Navy, you have Air Force.
Yep.
So I helped a lot of people who were servicemen and women.
Yep.
And I can tell you that the most intense people I ever worked with, and my favorite people to work with, were Navy SEALs.
Really? Well, we know that they're intense to begin with.
That's right. And here's another thing, though. When they sign, they mean it.
Yep.
If they tell you they're going to do it, they
do
it. Yeah, no, it's like and if they hire you, if they hire you, they look at it like, you're the professional, you tell me what to do.
Yep.
And then they did it.
And that makes it a little bit easier.
How refreshing is that?
I think, not to go back to Virginia Beach, because that was the Fort Story, right?
There was Fort Story, there was Army, there was also a whole lot of Navy.
Because that was over in the Norfolk, or more closer to the Norfolk side.
Yes.
Yeah, the amphibian base and stuff. But I think at Fort Story, I used to go horseback riding there.
Probably.
When I was a kid. I remember going and taking horseback lessons, which I to this day don't do, but I did it there, and I remember going there specifically for the horseback riding.
I had a horse when I was a young woman, and I grew up horseback riding too. See, you and I just keep intersecting in our
Now, you're not from there originally.
No, I grew up in West Virginia.
In West Virginia, okay, all right.
And then moved to Richmond, and then, that was looking for work.
Yep.
And then went to...
That's a great market.
And then to Virginia Beach, and then later on, back down
to Florida.
To Ocala.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I say back, but my folks lived here.
Yeah.
They were lucky enough to be snowbirds.
Oh,
so when it was too hot here, they were there, and
they were in West Virginia. Okay, yeah. So my parents did the same thing. They moved from Chesapeake to here because my grandparents lived here. So so they moved here, and I followed, and and I love Virginia. My son lives in Spotsylvania.
Oh, I love it there.
Oh, yeah. They just bought a house there, and he was in Alexandria for about 10 years.
I love that place too.
It's crazy, but he missed, because he grew up in Denellen. And he missed the lifestyle, the slow country.
Sure.
So now we call him the Colonel, because he works for the FAA, but he was living in a townhouse that they sold for like $800,000 right off of the main drag in Alexandria, and bought this house way out in the country with like 4 different neighbors, and that's it. And it's a completely different lifestyle, but the one that he remembers as a kid, so he loves it much more.
Yes.
Yeah, he likes getting out of that hustle bustle. They don't have to go in the office all the time now.
And the driving there is insane.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's insanity and profanity.
Yes, it is. Yeah, if you have to go around D.C. to try to get out,
that
to go
beltway's
back,
crazy.
Yeah,
my granddaughter lives up there now.
Oh,
she just finished school, and she got a good job. She's doing. I don't remember the exact phraseology. It's something like security within technical systems.
Oh, okay.
She has a good government job. My grandson does too.
Yep.
So
they can't be
tickled to death.
We're
tickled to death.
That's my son and daughter-in-law. They both work for the FAA, and he was in the Air Force for 13 years and went straight to the government. And they do very, very well. So yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
So so your parents were here, which is why it drove you back this way.
Well, visiting them, I kind of started to like it here. So they died back in 2013, and then my sister and I came here in 2014. So we share a little house here.
Yep. So you love it?
I do.
You like this? I would imagine this is a lot like West Virginia.
Well, the weather certainly isn't like West Virginia.
I know. Yeah, you definitely have the heat here.
But no, the market here is really very different than it was in the Virginia markets that I worked in.
Yeah.
But you know this. Yeah. You've been in it long enough, as have I, that we watched all sorts of markets come and go.
Yeah.
People get so bent out of shape. Interest rates are up to 6%. Oh, what are we going to do? We can't buy. Of course you can.
Yep.
We remember when there were ARM loans, adjustable rate mortgages, and people were happy to get 8% money.
I know. And what about the 100% deals? That they were like 9%, but they would do whatever they had to get into the house. So and that's the beauty of our business too, is that it's very slick. There's cycles every single 4 to 5 years. This last one, where the rates were so low for so long, was very unusual.
Yes.
But it was a nice run, but it wasn't going to last. It never was.
I call it the unicorn market.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And it was so exciting because, I mean, we've talked about it on this video before. We just never ever expected to be as busy as we were during, a pandemic, and thinking that we were all going to shut down, and people just want to be here, and that's just what continues to drive business for us.
Well, some places we're lucky here.
We're very lucky.
Some places didn't get lucky. Many places in many states. I know Manhattan and many markets, most of California, they didn't get the good, quick market that we did. They fell apart.
Yeah, they fell apart. And, it's funny because in prior cycles, if you were in California, out west, of course, New York, and Florida, because of the weather, those were the fastest appreciating markets. But when they tanked, they were the first to tank. But Florida didn't have that.
Right. People looked at those high-priced properties like it was a COVID fire sale.
Yes,
we're going to run in and steal somebody's house.
Right. And it was just like, but we never, fortunately, I think even to today, it may be taking a little bit longer. It slowed down a little bit, but buyers are still coming in. They're a lot of them are paying cash right now.
Right.
But people still want to be here. And I think as we get closer to the election, it's going to continue. I think we're going to have a bigger boom that people are expecting.
Right.
The challenge we have is the inventory.
Right.
You know, so that's the challenge that we had during the COVID time, and now I think it's going to be even harder to find places, but that's why you see so much new construction going on.
Oh, I agree. I agree completely. That's part of what we're lucky. Everybody wants to live in Florida.
Yep. and a lot of people want to live in Central.
Yes.
Unless you're a multimillionaire and want to live in South Florida, you know, or you want to be on the coast, which, you know, after the last hurricane scared a lot of people.
Exactly. Yeah. Being in Central Florida gives you most of the things you come here for.
Yep, and you have the opportunity to be somewhere very quickly.
Yes.
Right? So what are you thinking about the current market? How do you feel about it?
I feel really good about the current market.
I do too.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
I do.
I hear so many agents kind of wringing their hands and saying, well, you know, the market's slowed down and this and that, but I don't necessarily see all that. It's a different market, but it's balanced.
It's back to normal.
Yeah, it's normalizing.
I, you know, as long as my phone continues to ring, because people, and you know, I've said this multiple times, everybody that I'm buying from, or is buying from me, that I'm doing pre-approvals, they're all out-of-state people still.
Right.
So they're still driving into Florida. So do we need to take a break?
Well, everybody wants to be in Florida,
Yeah.
don't they?
Do we need a break?
No, I'm good.
We're good.
We can keep going.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to ask you about yoga. So tell me about your yoga.
I love it. I try to do it about 5 times a week.
Holy moly. Where do you do it?
At the ranch. Do you know where that is? On top of the world?
Yeah.
The ranch.
So they have a nice
it's their fitness
day
center.
spa and everything,
yes,
don't they?
Yes, they do.
Have you tried that before? I have a
The
gift
day
certificate
spa?
for it over there.
I would say
me.
yes. Your nails always look beautiful, and your suntan is so pretty. And I would say yes, go get your nails done if you want to. Now there's a guy there named Stuart who does massages, and you can do the ones that I do that are just sitting up and leaning over, and he can do the shoulders.
Oh, that's what I like. I like that, and I like reflexology on my feet. I love people to massage my feet.
I don't know anything about that.
That is I'll tell you a funny story.
Okay.
So I was in, where was I? In the Bahamas, and I had taken my daughter and my daughter-in-law when my daughter graduated high school to the Atlantis.
Okay.
And so we were all laying on the beach that day, and I'm relaxing, and this lady came up to me, and she had her hair up in like I don't know what you call those things, but like the cabana.
Like a turban
Like a turban, yes.
Okay.
And dreadlocks, and white flowing outfit, and she came over and she goes, would you like to have a reflexology massage to your feet? And I'm like, that's weird. I don't know if I don't know. But I said, okay, let's do it, because I'm in the Bahamas. Why not? So within 5 minutes, I was sound asleep. It was the most relaxing, wonderful experience of my life. So anybody that I can find that does reflexology, I'm there, because I'm not a crazy person about full massages. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there's pinpoints, there's pressure points in your feet that all go, and they work on that. But it's so relaxing. I mean, if you like people massaging your feet, you would love that.
Yes.
So
I think I would love that.
Well, she woke me up an hour later, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
Where have I been?
And the next day, I'm out there laying out looking for her, because I was going to do it again, and she never showed up, so I don't know if it was just a dream or what, but I've had many of them since then, and that's my guilty pleasure. My husband likes to have full-blown massages, and I just say, and I'll just do the reflexology. So if you ever have a chance, I'm
going to try that.
It is good. Now, do you live on top of the world?
No, right beside of it in Pine Run.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you use the facilities and all that. Yeah. So your yoga classes are there in the ranch?
Yes.
Okay.
5 days a week.
So
when I'm not too lazy, I go do yoga.
Well, that's a lot, 5 days a week.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a lot. So have you done it a long time?
Yeah, long time. Decades, I guess, by now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it. because I'm so not
come
balanced.
come be my guest sometime.
Really? I would love to. I mean, I'd probably embarrass myself to death, but
I do that on a daily basis because I see a lot of people there that are like me. They're 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, and they're working out. But in yoga, I see the people who have kept themselves a little more physically flexible.
Yeah. And that's what I'm not.
And I'm losing that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to hold onto my car to step down off the curb.
That too.
You know, because I'm just not safe if I don't feel like I can do it. So but I would love to do it. My husband was doing is it the Tai Chi where you do all the stretching and stuff? I thought about trying that too because I do need to do something to move these.
Right. Well, you and
muscles,
me both. We've got to we've got to
maybe
stay up.
Maybe we could be a team and just do it and motivate each other to do it.
I
would love it.
I would love you on my team.
Oh, thank you. So tell me about being a dog lover.
Well, my daughter owns an animal rescue.
That's what I want to do when I retire, if I ever retire.
So she and her husband have, 30 plus acres, I guess it is, in Amelia County, which is just outside of Richmond.
Okay, okay.
And they have an animal rescue. She's had coveys of blind doves. She's got a lot of chickens and some emu,
yeah.
However it's pronounced, some of those.
Oh my gosh.
There are pigs. There are lots and lots of dogs, primarily mama dogs and puppies, because people are so cruel to dogs.
They are. I can't even.
It's dreadful.
I can't even.
And
if you are cruel to an animal, then you're just not a good person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, on a real basic level, you've lost your soul.
You've lost your soul, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about that. But she's been operating sanctuary rescue since 2012, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And it's mostly mama dogs and their puppies because people kick out the mama dog because they find out there's going to be a litter of puppies. Or once she was called, she also she has a group of volunteers, and they also work with the animal control in the area.
So they'll drop them off if they find them.
Yeah, if they can, and they pull from other shelters all around the country too.
Okay.
From time to time when there's room.
Right.
And overcrowding is a real problem now because during COVID everybody wanted to adopt a puppy.
And
now we're normalizing, and people aren't adopting as much as they used to.
Yeah.
But the animal control had called my daughter one Saturday night late to say that a man was walking past a dumpster and heard little tiny sounds. So he investigated. Somebody had taken, 6 or 8 newborn puppies.
Oh my gosh.
Put them in an empty dog food bag, rolled it up, and threw them into.
I just can't even
dumpster.
imagine. I mean,
it's hard to imagine.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I can't even. So does she try to adopt them out? Is that what she does?
Yes.
Yeah.
She has a lot of the puppies and I didn't even know this was a thing, that puppies are born cleft palate. It happens pretty often. They can't suckle, they can't latch on, and they starve.
Oh my gosh.
So they take in a lot of them. They do like feeding through their navels.
Really?
Yeah,
like
they have all this.
Tube.
They have all of this complicated puppy saving.
Now, is she
equipment.
a nonprofit?
Yes,
she is. And what's it called?
501c, Sanctuary Rescue.
Okay, all right. And so she can take donations.
Sure,
that's what she's looking for. I'm a avid
animal
lover. I mean, I spoil mine. My daughter says to me to this day, she goes, you treat your dogs better than you ever treated Nicholas and I, and I'm just like, well, they're better than you guys ever were.
They give me more love.
They do, and
they're easier to take.
They're always happy to see me. So, so what kind of dog do you have?
We don't have one now. No, we don't have one now. We had to have Sweet Bonnie put down. Bonnie was. She was put to sleep because she had cancer, along with a lot of other things.
And I've had that issue too.
Our heart has been broken.
How? What kind of dog?
She was a terrier.
A terrier.
Yeah, the kind that has the Wheaton down the back.
Oh.
Yeah, she had that, and Bonnie was so sweet.
Yep.
She was not a show dog, but she was registered.
Yep.
And she was Mommy's dog. And then after Mommy passed, my sister took her, and she was like our little sister.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I've had multiple labs, and
Have you?
Multiple, and I have two now, a Labradoodle and a chocolate lab. But they're just, I mean, they're just everything. But
they're one of the family.
Yeah,
at some point.
They truly are. But I can only give you one piece of advice. So I don't know how long it's been since Sweet Bonnie passed, but my husband was never, I mean, he wasn't he was always a dog person, but he just wasn't like me, that once the kids grew up, it was like they became my kids. Right. So I finally had time where when I was raising children, they came first, and so they were always a nuisance. But once my kids grew up, they were everything to me. Right. My husband never got that until we got the first chocolate lab. And we got him, and his name was Toby, and my husband would put a baseball cap on him out at the pool, and he'd sit there and just look at him with the base.
I missed that.
They just, they clicked, and he finally said to me, you know, I now get it. I get it. I never had that feeling with an animal before. Well, he wound up getting spine cancer. Oh. So we took him for all the treatments and everything. Anyway, he didn't make it, and my husband said, no more. Right. Absolutely no more. Well, we got him out of a dog breeder out of Oklahoma called T-Bar. And she has these wonderful pictures of all these chocolate labs and what they've done. She's done it for years and years. She's a wonderful person. I called her, or I texted her, or emailed her, or something, and I just said, I just want to let your beloved Toby pass. And he was only 7. So it was a very, early time for him to go. Yeah. And she wrote back, and she goes, that not enough time. That was such a, short loss. Such a great loss. And she goes, I said, well, I'm not ready. We're not ready to do anything. Well, that was probably in October that year. And my husband kept saying, I don't want any more. I can't do this. And I kept saying, what would you rather have? The love or to never have loved that animal? So anyway, she emails me out of the blue in December. And she goes, I know it's probably still too soon, but I had a litter, and it's Toby's parents, so the same animals, same parents. And I have one puppy left, and he was sold to a Marine. Okay. And the Marine got orders unexpectedly and had to cancel
the purchase.
And I was like, you mean a military guy can't have his puppy? And I was like,
oh, no.
I know. And I said, send me a picture. And so she did. I called my daughter. She goes, Mom, you have to get him. I said, he's the last puppy, and his owner has to go overseas. So I said, okay, we'll take it. And I was so afraid to tell my husband because they fly him in. So I had to go get him at the airport. We get to the house, and it was around Christmas time, and I got a little Santa hat for him. And I said, don't be mad, but here's Cody. Yeah. So we had a Toby, now he's Cody, Kodiak Bear. And he had the little Santa cap on. And my husband is the same with this one. So he's a chocolate lover. He those animals, they have such a weird personality. Yeah. And they all have the same one. They're all crazy. But he absolutely loves it. And I have a picture of him sitting there holding him the first night with the Santa hat on, with the biggest grin. So get another one. Share the love.
Exactly.
Share the love.
Exactly. So you made a believer out of him.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's still hard. That's probably one of the hardest things. I had a yellow lab, and he was everything to me, and he was the best dog I've ever had. And when they had to put him down, I was like, put me in the coffin with him. I didn't want to be without him. He's still got his picture up on my bathroom mirror. So, we kind of got off track about real estate, but that's
okay.
What we do.
We can talk about whatever we want to.
Exactly. Right? About 5 more? Okay. So, real quick, if you were talking to a new realtor today, right, just start wanting to get into the business, what kind of advice would you give them since you've had so much experience?
Well, there is so much that has changed. When I got into the business, there were actually, I don't know if you remember this, there were MLS catalogs.
Oh my gosh.
That were this thick. Yep. That were black and white, grainy pictures.
Yep.
like what, 24 to a page.
I can remember when agents would send them to me because I had to fight the appraisal, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
With a jeweler's loop, just trying to see, is that a house?
Right.
Yeah, so now everything is technology based. So there's really a lot they could teach me.
Yeah.
But I would say just the premise of marketing at its most basic is just reach and repeat.
Yep.
Excuse me. Just find that market and continually let them know that you're still in the business.
Yep, and just keep doing it.
Yeah,
just keep
yeah.
fighting the battle every day. I've had some friends that are agents, you know, especially getting into it newly. I mean, they are trained to go out there and do the FISBOs and, you know, trying to knock on doors and bring little treats and leave them on. And a lot of them have gotten very successful doing that. So, I mean, it's all about, like you said, marketing yourself and being relevant out there in the market. You got to be out there.
Yes.
So
relevant, that's a good word.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can't, and you know, one of the things like Nicholas out of your office, I mean, he's probably the best social media person I think I've ever seen, you know, in the business. And he, you know, he inspires me. And to be honest with you, I mean, up until 5 years ago, I didn't do any technology video or anything because I worked for a company that didn't let you do it.
We could do a lot of a lot of mailing then, and you can do some mailing, but it really needs to be supplemented with
with the marketing,
with online, because people's a home search now. It used to be they came to us.
Yep, they do.
We had the information. Now they get all that they want free.
Yep, and that's exactly right. Well, listen, it has been a very, you know, great pleasure having
wonderful.
You, and it went by way too fast. I know.
Yes,
so Gabby always puts me on point. I have to, you know, she wants to like take a hook and grab me out of here. But I'm so glad you came in. It's been so nice. Thank you. I told you it wasn't going to be hard.
And you had me nervous.
Yeah, don't forget to use her over at Homerun Realty, and you know, she's a great gal. So again, Leigh Ann Venable at Homerun Realty. Thanks.
Thank you, Debbie.